honor to invite Mr. Amitabh Bachchan to share his thoughts with us.
माननीय मुख्यमंत्री ममता जी, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, and all the wonderful people of Kolkata, Ami Apnar Jamai Babu Namaskar. This is an honor yet again to be present at KIFF, a film festival that has become a landmark for showcasing exceptional cinema from across the globe. This is perhaps my fourth visit, or should I say my fourth invitation to the festival, and I've been requesting the Honorable Chief Minister to stop inviting me to speak at KIFF because I really have run out of all possible ideas on what my speech should contain. But Mamata Di persists, and I'm compelled to make another effort. Kolkata has always been very special to me. The city holds precious memories, and memories like beautiful melodies never fade. Melodies are synonymous with music, and music to me has always been that invisible thread, that wire that connects the Atma with the Paramatma. Since time immemorial, music and songs in Indian films have found its thread, its voice in our cinema. It has embraced the spirit of unity in diversity, encouraged secular, patriotic, and social ideals, showcased India's wonderful culture, and given us our unique identity. These songs have been sung over and over again by princes and paupers, by our Muslim and Hindu sisters and brothers, and dare I say, by our politicians and plebeians of many different hues. Our film songs have broken all barriers of class distinction. After all, we are all weary travelers who find joy and solace in music after a hard day's toil. As Gurudev Rabindranath Tagore had so movingly chanted, Ganero shurero ashono khani pati pother dhare ogopothik tumi eshe boshe bare bare. By the roadside, I spread my mat of melodies for you, O weary traveler, so that you can come and rest again and again as you please. The biggest revolution in the journey of our film songs, you will be glad to know, happened in Bengal. Way back in 1935, Nitin Bose, along with his brother Mukul Bose, and music directors Raichand Boral and Pankaj Malik, introduced the pre-recorded song in the Bengali film Bhagya Chakra and its Hindi version Dhoop Chhaam. The singers were K.C. Deb, Parul Ghosh, Suprabha Sarkar. This playback technique freed the artist forever from the bondage of the microphone, and many notable playback singers subsequently came into prominence, the most eminent being Lata Mangeshkar, Hemant Kumar, Mohammad Rafi, Geeta Dutt, Kishore Kumar, Asha Bhosle, Mukesh. Music lives in the air of Bengal. From farmers singing in the fields, to children learning classical music in schools, from boatmen and fishermen to Rabindra Sangeet, from Vaishnav Kirtans to Baul songs, Bengalis love their music as much as their Ilish March and Bhat. And over time, much of this unique influence has also been passed down to some of Hindi cinema's most memorable numbers. S.D. Burman, Salil Chaudhary, Hemant Kumar, R.D. Burman were perhaps four inspired music maestros who used their native Bengal as their testing ground for great music. But much before they made it big in Bombay, the path for them was paved by Anil Krishna Bishwas. S.D. Burman, incredibly popular even today, has outlived his contemporaries. The bewildering range of his music never had a pattern. Most times, he created enchantment. It is impossible to encompass Burman Dada's range of melodies, from the devotional kirtan best exemplified in Aaj Sajan Mohe Ang Lagalo from the film Pyasa, to folk music like Aan Milo from Devdas. Melody and magic blended faultlessly. And of course, The Bhatyali and the Boatmen songs rendered in his own distinctive voice have inspired creations. You only have to listen to Sun Mere Bandhu Re from Sujata and Ore Manjhi Mere Sajan Hai Us Par from Bandhani to appreciate the range and caliber of his music. Shalil Chaudhary, known for his eclectic combination of Bengali folk with Western classical, took melody to different heights. Hence we have an Occidental backed up of a pure Indian melody in O Sajna Barkha Bahar Ai. This was from the film Parak, rendered so impeccably by Lataji. Similarly, the Mozart-inspired Itna Na Mujhse Tu Pyar Badha Hai Ki Main Hu Badal Awara from the film Chaya, sung with spotless charm by Talat Mahmood, has an unusual Bhairavi movement. Hugely successful as singer-composer in Bengal, Hemant Kumar later brought his exquisitely soft and melodious Gayaki to Bombay and made it his trademark. All these years later, when we listen to the feather-like touch of Kuch Dil Ne Kaha, Kuch Bhi Nahi, and Dheere Dheere Machal Ae Dile Bekarar, both from Rishida's Anupama, or Kishore Kumar's emotionally melancholic Wo Sham Kuch Ajeeb Thi from Khamoshi, we are faced with the archetypal Bengali gentleness that often renders us speechless. And then there was Rahul Dev Burman, fondly known as Panchamda. What can one say of RD? His style in one stroke liberated the entire industry from the shackles of old age companions and compositions. He was Indian cinema's or Hindi cinema's original rock star. The huge influence of his father, S.D. Burman, coupled with his fascination for Western tunes and a strong grip over Indian classical music, gave him an extra edge. For instance, he used the typical Bengali instrument, the madol drum, in Tere Bina Jia Jaina in the film Ghar, with as much ease as the traditional sarangi and tabla, along with the Western Spanish guitar in the classically inspired Raina Biti Jai from the film Amar Prem. This was truly innovative. Music from Bengal can hardly be separated from the songs of Rabindranath Tagore. The far-reaching influences of Rabindra Sangeet on several music directors in Hindi film cannot be denied. Anil Bishwas, Rahi Matwale, sung by Suraya and Talat Mahmood in Varas in 1954, drew heavily from Tagore's Ore Grihobashi. Suraya had herself said that she needed hours of practice to attune herself to this new kind of music, where the bhav was so dissimilar and exceptional from the kind of songs she had previously rendered. Barmandas Tere Mere Milan Ki Ye Rehna from the 1973 Rishikesh Mukherjee classic Abhiman was again inspired by Jodi Tare Nai Chinigo Sheki Amai Nebe Chine. If you remember Man Mera Udta Jaye, composed by Hemant Kumar and sung by Lataji in the film Ma Beta in 1952, you will be reminded of Monomor Meghero Songi. The Rajesh Roshan composition Chukar Mere Man Mein in the film Yarana, which incidentally, ladies and gentlemen, was shot in this stadium, in this very stadium, was once again influenced by Tomar Holo Shuru, Amar Holo Shara. And many years later, in 2005, Shantanu Moitra used Tagore's Phule Phule, Dhole Dhole liberally in the film Parinita. Beyond Bengal's indelible influence, songs in our cinema have also been based on Carnatic music of South India, the Lavani of Maharashtra, the Lori and the Bhangra from Punjab, the folk songs of Uttar Pradesh and Rajasthan, the Nautanki music of Bihar, and the vibrous and vigorous Garba of Gujarat. Thus, our films, in all their diversity, have united us as Indians beyond petty regional prejudices. Right from the birth of Indian talkies in 1931, musicals have been a regular feature in our films. That film and that year, Alam Ara by Arda Shet Enani, featured 7 songs. This was closely followed by Shireen Farhad, which had as many as 42 song sequences strung together in the manner of an opera. Another earlier film, Indra Sabha, is said to have had 59 songs. In 1934, Hindi film songs began to be recorded on gramophones, and later being played on radio channels gave rise to a new form of mass entertainment which were beyond the limited confines of darkened cinema halls. 1947 saw not only India's momentous and violent partition, but also the departure of some of the best musical talents to Pakistan. Noor Jahan, the vivacious singing actress, left behind memories of brilliant songs like Awaaz De Kahan Hai in the previous year's hit film Anmol Ghadi. However, 1947 was not only about goodbyes. It also saw the entry of rock and roll in Hindi films when C. Ramchandra came up with a bubbly number, Meri Jaan, Sunday Ke Sunday Aana, in the film Shehnai. In 1949, Khemchand Prakash created a musical marvel in the film Mahal. His composition, Aayega Aane Wala, made the music world sit up and take notice of a musical phenomena, Lata Mangeshkar. Lata ji went on to become the melody queen of India, decorated later with the Bharat Ratna, our country's highest civilian honor. Music in Indian cinema is unique in its cultural implications. It has always spelt out the Indianness of our movies, even when the songs or the background score may have been induced from Western African and Arabic sources. Indian mainstream cinema and its music certainly defines a synthesis of traditional and international genres. Composers such as Shankar Jayakrishan, Lakshmikant Pyarelal, Madan Mohan, Kalyanji Anandji, Jaydev, O.P. Nair, and many others introduced their unique style. But though they were influenced by international trends, their compositions always espoused a wonderful ethnic flavor, relying on our indigenous classical and folk forms, as well as devotional bhajans, qawwalis, and ghazals. This tradition of richly varied culture is being continued today by music directors like A.R. Rahman, the Oscar winner, Shankar Ehsaan Loy, Anu Malik, Pritam, Vishal Shekhar, Amit Trivedi, and several others. Yehudi Ki Ladki in the year 1933 saw Pankaj Malik's debut as a music director in Bengal. Ghalib's Nuktachi-e Gham-e-Dil, sung by Kundalal Sehgal, was perhaps the first ghazal used in Hindi cinema. Almost a decade later, Anil Biswas's Roti in 1942, in which Begum Akhtar sang 6 classic nazms, signaled the flowering of the ghazal as an integral part of film music. Later, Muhammad Rafi and Talat Mahmood immortalized this genre in several films. And some of the best ghazals in Hindi films undoubtedly were being composed by music director Madan Mohan. The qawwali has also been indispensable in Hindi cinema. Used primarily to signify deeply devotional moods, it has also often been picturized without, and I stress, without religious overtones. Parda Hai Parda from Amar Akbar Anthony is a good example. So is Ay Meri Zohra Jabeen from Waqt, enacted so endearingly by Balrat Sahni. The classic Tere Mehfil Mein Kismat Azma Kar Hum Bhi Dekhenge from Mughal-e-Azam being replete with its nob-joke, sawal jawab, inkar and ikrar. Through the better part of the 50s, 60s and 70s, songs in Hindi movies had lyrics frequently written by distinguished poets. Hasrat Jaipuri, Shakil Badaini, Sahir Ludhianvi, Majroo Sultanpuri, Kaifi Azmi, Anand Bakshi, Neeraj, Gulzar, Shailendra. These are all wonderful, great examples. In fact, Shailendra became a defining and enduring feature of the Indian identity abroad. Awara Hoon from the film Awara was one of the most popular songs in erstwhile Russia. And the timeless anthem, Mera Joota Hai Japani, found space even in Hollywood's very recent film, released in 2016, the blockbuster Deadpool. Continuing this tradition in recent years, our film music has not only spread India's popular culture around the world, but has also influenced composers in the West. Filmmaker Baz Luhrmann acknowledged the impact of Hindi cinema in his production Moulin Rouge. by the inclusion of Anu Malik's Chamma Chamma in the soundtrack. In Greece, the genre of Indo-Preppy sprang from a direct stimulus caused by Hindi film music, while in Indonesia, popular singers have reworked Hindi songs for Indonesian audiences. In France, the French singer Pascal popularized our numbers like Zindagi Ek Safar Hai Suhana by including them in the regular repertoire. In Nigeria, a combination of Sufi lyrics and mainstream Hindi film tracks has become popular among the Hausa youth. Hindi film songs have also been combined with local styles in the Caribbean to form what is popularly known as chutney music. But despite these deviations, classical and folk music continue to remain the mainstay of several film songs. The essential function of folk music has been to glue individuals into groups to perform ritualized functions. Of the numerous renditions that have been thus inspired, two of the best examples are Daya Re Daya Chalagayo Papi Bichua from the Bimal Roy classic Madhumati, and Chalat Musafir Le Gayo Re, Chalat Musafir Moh Gayo Re, Pinjre Wali Munia from the national award-winning film Teesri Kasam. The former number, composed by Salil Chaudhary and sung by Lataji and Manna Dey, remains evergreen, very much like the entire soundtrack of Teesri Kasam. Unlike folk melodies meant for the common man, classical music, conversely, has invoked and celebrated the grandeur of power and aristocracy. Listen to the Banjish, Aaj Gawat Man Mero Jhoom Ke, in Raga Desi between Amir Khan and D.V. Paluskar in the 1952 hit Baiju Bamra to experience the majesty of classical compositions. Naushad, who had composed for Baiju Bamra almost a decade later, in 1960, had the difficult task of getting the great genius, Bade Ghuram Ali, to agree to sing for Mughal-e-Azam. Now, K. Asif, the director, was a hard taskmaster. Stubborn and rigid in his likes and dislikes, he knew that only a great ustad could deliver the rag that needed to be picturized on Tansen. The much-harried Naushad heaved a sigh of relief when finally he got Bade Ghulam Ali to delineate in Rag Sohini the stupendous Prem Jogan Banke and Shubh Ayo Raj Dulara in Rag Rageshti. The arguments with the maestro had been heated, the fees exorbitant, but in the end it was all worthwhile. Often Hindi films have emphasized democratic values of equality and freedom. While most of us are aware of patriotic film songs like Mere Desh Ki Dharti Sona Ugle, Nanna Munna Rahi Hoon, Ye Desh Veer Jawano Ka, Chal Chal Re Naujawan, Bharat Humko, Jaan Se Pyara Hai, and several others, ladies and gentlemen, the first patriotic ballad that took the nation by storm was the super hit number Dur Hato Dunya Walo, Hindustan Hamara Hai, from the Ashok Kumar starrer Kismat, way back in 1943, when such tracks were banned by the British Raj. Written by Kavi Pradeep, composed by Anil Biswas, sung as a duet by Amir Bai Karnataki and Khan Mastana, this song became an instant success, particularly because it was set in the wake of the Quit India movement. Its intense impact on the audience blazed a path of defiance and created mass hysteria. According to reports, when the duet played on screen, the audience would give it a standing ovation, and amidst thunderous applause, demand a repeat run, which the theatre owners usually obliged. The film Kismat, ladies and gentlemen, was a runaway hit, running consecutively for 200 weeks at the Roxy Cinema here in Kolkata. The lyrics of the song had got away by the skin of their teeth from the British Raj censor board, as they cunningly included the line, Shuru hua hai jang tumhara, jaag utho Hindustani, phir na kisi ke aage jhukna, German ho ya Japani. The words German and Japani, shrewdly inserted, convinced the Britishers that the song was not targeted towards them, but towards their World War II enemies, Germany and Japan. Besides patriotism, music from Hindi cinema is also one of the best documentations of various aspects of the Indian family, replete with its priorities and preferences. There have been several lullabies. Nanni Pari Sone Chali from Sujata, Mere Ghar Aayi Ek Nanni Pari from Kabhi Kabhi. They relate attachment between mother and child. A father's aspiration comes alive in Papa Kehte Hain Bada Naam Karega from Qayamat Se Qayamat Tak. The bond between wife and husband is beautifully eulogized in Jeevan Ki Bagiya Mahke in Tere Mere Sapne, while the love of a brother for his sister is best exemplified in Phoolon Ka Taron Ka Sabka Kehna Hai from Devanand's Hare Ram Hare Krishna. There are several songs also about timeless values embedded essentially in our middle class culture, giving them a universal appeal, including a plethora of exquisite love songs that would make any lover instantly swoon. Not just love and passion and filial ties, our films have likewise been in the forefront when challenging vices in society. Guru Dutt's Pyasa shook the audience all over the country with its sharp rebuke in Ye Duniya Agar Mil Bhi Jaye To Kya Hai. In contrast, Raj Kapoor, with his inimitable panache, supported musically by Mukesh, dwelled on the values of a humanist and compassionate society in Kisi Ki Muskurahaton Mein Ho Nisar. In the film Anari, again directed by a Bengali Hrishikesh Mukherjee. The most egalitarian and important aspect of our film music, however, ladies and gentlemen, is reflected in the fact that several Muslim composers have set to tune bhajans eulogizing Hindu gods and goddesses. Madhuban Mein Nadika Nachi Ray from Kohinoor is one such glowing example. Set in Rag Malkos, Naushad, the composer, had asked all his musicians to come bathed and properly attired as he was going to record a Krishna bhajan. After the recording, when the producer, moved to tears, distributed prasad and sweets to the studio, atmosphere was like a temple where everybody was chanting the name of Lord Krishna. Ladies and gentlemen, here is a Hindu bhajan composed by a Muslim, rendered also by a Muslim, Muhammad Rafi, with the divine lyrics again written by a Muslim poet, none other than Shakil Badani. What could be a better example of integration and amity? I am, ladies and gentlemen, a proud Indian, an Indian that has lived in an era where Muhammad Rafi sang the songs whose lyrics were written by Shakil Badayuni. Music was composed by Naushad, and Dilip Kumar enacted them in completely fearless and secular situations, often playing a Hindu protagonist. There are many other great lyricists too, both Hindus and Muslims, who wrote partisan songs. Sahir Ludhiani's Allah Tero Naam, Ishwar Tero Naam, and Bharat Vyas's Ay Malik Tere Bande Hum. In the recent past, O Palanhare Nirgun Aur Nyare from Lagan, penned by Javed Akhtar, is another wonderful example of this continued inclusiveness in our film industry without sectarian barriers. This then, ladies and gentlemen, is the true spirit of India, the abiding essence of our culture, where humanity and empathy reign supreme, where love for our fellow men and respect for all religions are the many splendid threads that weave our priorities without prejudice. The timeless verse of lyricist and poet Shailendra from the Raj Kapoor classic says it all. रिश्ता दिल के एतबार का, जिंदा है हमी से नाम प्यार का, कि मर के भी किसी को याद आएंगे, किसी के आंसुओं में मुस्कुराएंगे, कहेगा फूल हर कली से बार बार, जीना इसी का नाम है। नमस्कार।